Alright, 7th grade pre-appears, let's do ratios and rates. Alright, rates. A rate is a ratio that compares quantities measured in different units. So basically it's a fraction. So let's say 3/4. But it has to have different measurements to be a rate. So let's say 3 miles to 4 gallons. That's the only difference between a rate and a ratio or a fraction. It's basically the same thing. In fact, it says that it's a ratio, it just has different units. So miles over gallons. Another example would be 12 feet over 2 inches. Like when we're doing scale models and stuff. So those are rates. Now, a unit rate is the same thing. It's just a rate. It just has 1 as one of the quantities. So like cars nowadays say that you get 32 miles per gallon, or MPG. What that's really saying is 32 miles over 1 gallon. And that's what makes it a unit rate, because of the 1. It's 1 unit rate. Alright, so let's do a couple examples. Here's one example. It says write the ratio 50 seconds colon 2 minutes. That colon means the ratio part, the divide part. So you're going to put over 2 minutes. Alright, so you have 50 seconds over 2 minutes. Now we're just putting the simplest form, so we're just going to reduce it. Now, it's just like reducing the fraction. We know that 2 will go into 50, and 2 will also go into 2. 2 will go into 50 25 times. Wow, seconds. And then 2 will go into 2 one time. So we have 25 seconds per 1 minute. Alright, so actually we ended up getting a unit rate because we have a 1 right here. So we know the unit rate for this problem is 25 seconds per 1 minute. Let's do another example. Oh look, this one's actually telling us to find the unit rate. So let's do that. Cycling. A team finished the 200-lap Indiana Little 500 race in 2 hours and 4 minutes, or about 2.07 hours. Find the unit rate of laps per hour. Well, we want to know how many laps per hour, because that's what this says. So I'm going to go ahead and set up a ratio. Laps per hour. Now how many laps did they run? Well, they ran 200. How many hours did it take? Well, it says about 2 hours and 4 minutes, but then they thankfully put or about 2.07. If they hadn't given that to us, we would actually have to convert 4 minutes into hours, into a decimal hour, which would be 0.07. It would be a little bit more complicated, but I know y'all can do it. But instead, let's do this, 2.07. Now, we want to convert it into a unit rate. We want one of these to equal 1. So this is what we're going to do. We're just going to divide 200 by 2.07. So let's do this over here. 200 divided by 2.07. Now if I move the decimal over twice, I'd have to move it over here. So now, 207 won't go into 200, but will go into 2,000 9 times. 9 times 207 is 1863. So you keep dividing, and you end up getting, I'm going to hurry up for y'all real fast. .207 will go into 1,376 times, and you end up getting 96.6 laps. So that means we have 96.6 laps per 1 hour. And that's it. We turn it into a unit rate just by dividing. And that's all you have to do. Last example. The cost of a 20-ounce box of cereal is $4.29. A 12-ounce box of the same cereal costs $3.59. Which box of cereal is better to buy? Well, let's check it out. We're going to be comparing two numbers together. 20 ounces over money, $4.29. And so what we want to do is figure out how much it costs per ounce. So we're going to find the unit rate of each box. So over here I'm going to do 12 ounces over $3.59. Now we're going to do the same steps. We're going to just divide. 20 divided by $4.29 is 0.0467187 ounces per 1 cent. Now on the other hand, we end up getting .1325 ounces per 1 cent. Alright, I messed up. That's my fault, because when I did this, I automatically tried to find how many cents per ounce it was. So really, I guess I should have flipped this. So let me start over so I don't really confuse y'all. And I'm not going to start the video over just because it's the second or third time I've done it. So let me just start this problem over again. Sorry about that. Alright, so we have 20 ounces per box of cereal, and it costs $4.29. I would really like to figure out how much it costs per ounce. So you notice I said per ounce. That means my ounce should be on the bottom. And that's where I messed up. And the money should be on top. Alright. Over here, I'll do a different color. It would be 12 ounces on bottom and $3.59. Anytime it says like per, if I say per ounce, that means that whatever I say per and after that goes on the bottom of the ratio. Now all I do is divide. Take 20 and divide it by 429, and I end up getting the same thing I said earlier. 0.04, about 7 per 1 ounce. Over here, I end up getting 0.132 cents per 1 ounce. So which one is a better deal? Well, this one, because it's cheaper than this one. This one's like 13 cents, and this one's like 5 cents per ounce. So obviously the $4.29 one for the 20 ounce is a lot better deal. And that's it, folks. We'll talk more about this in class.